All right, so I'm talking to a friend of mine, Joe Napodi, out in L.A. about Piers Morgan getting bounced out of CNN. And I said, why shouldn't I replace Piers Morgan on CNN? He says, I know what you do. What you need to do is shoot a Piers Morgan video. I'm thinking to myself, I'm from Flint. I could do that.
Paul.
Welcome to Newsmaker. I'm Gabe Gutierrez. We're joining you today from the White Horse Tavern on Court Street in downtown Flint. Moderator Tom Sumner, the host of WKUF's morning radio program.
Mr. Walling, we begin with you. You have 90 seconds.
Good morning. My name is Dane Walling. I'm the manager of 21st Century Performance.
A piece I read where you recounted the day that your dad was fired.
Yeah.
And he kept a speaking commitment that night. And there was
Yes,
a takeaway
did.
from it where you said you learned how to be classy from that during adversity. But has the fact that your dad held this job caused you to feel through your career and as you've grown into this job that you might want to look over your shoulder a little?
There's no question. That's a good question. I was in Flint when that day happened, and I was sitting there. I had responsibility for body shops, a lot of body shops, including Buick City and Lake Orion. And so I was laying out. I can remember what I was doing. I was laying out the sequence and stations of an assembly line, basically. And my mom called me. And I was like,
yeah, you had a tux hanging in your car or something.
No, my dad did, and I said, well, are we still going to this, and my dad said, yep, I'm doing it, I got to do it, I made the commitment, so we did it, and that had to have been incredibly tough on him because the media was, crazy, just
sure.
wanting to get that story about how someone was fired, at a very big public position at that time, so. He handled it with a lot of class. He still does today because it's not something that goes away because people always ask me about it. And, I don't like talking about it, frankly, because I know it hurt him. And it hurt him not because of the media and all that stuff, but my mom, when she called me, said, he's most concerned about, are you going to be embarrassed in your job in General Motors that your dad was just fired? He was worried about me. So that's the kind of guy he is.
As Paul Rozicki, the premier political pundit here in Genesee County, all the polls suggest that Tom Sumner ought to replace Piers Morgan.
Now, I saw something on the AP about the lieutenant governor leaving Saturday for the Mideast. Is that part two of the trip you took a year ago, or is this a new initiative?
No, it is part two, and you're very astute.
Just caught up with Rick Snyder, a businessman extraordinaire who has just decided to throw his hat into the ring and run for governor of the state of Michigan. And I have three questions for you, Rick, if you can spare just a few minutes. The first is, why would you want to go into politics?
Tom, easy question. I'm looking to run for governor for the simple reason Michigan's an economic disaster.
Let me say, Tom, I'll challenge my opponent right now, as I have. I'll debate Andy Dillon on your show. I'll debate him in Detroit. I'll debate him in Flint, in Lansing. I'll debate him in his mother's living room. He will not debate me. He won't face the music. I don't know what the guy's afraid of except his own record.
I'm Barry Simon. I've known Tom Sumner for a long time. I can think of nobody that would be more appropriate to replace Piers Morgan. After all, Tom understands the world as it is today, and I'll guarantee you, compared to someone like Larry King, he knows the definite difference between a drummer versus a guitar player, unlike Larry. This is somebody that really could bring CNN back to the 21st century where it once started.
And my next guest has gone from being a child star to Broadway, but not before becoming the iconic, irrepressible drummer of TV's The Monkees. Joining me now by phone, Mickey Dolenz. Good morning, Mickey. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. How you doing?
Great. I remember watching you in Circus Boy.
Oh boy.
And then later seeing the television show The Monkees and thinking, wow, that's so weird. That guy was that guy. And, a lot of child actors, we read about this all the time, have very, very troubled lives. Like they never get back to work or something. They seem to fall out, but yet you keep on trucking. What is there a secret to that, Mickey? What do you think when you see those stories?
Well, first of all, I know a lot of the people that you're referring to. I knew them. But first of all, it must be said that there's a lot of child stars that did not have problems, but of course you don't hear of them because they don't make good news.
Fair point.
Like Shirley Temple is a very obvious example.
Hi, my name is Rashina White from Team A10. I think Tom would be a great candidate to replace Piers Morgan because he has a lot of political knowledge and he is in touch with the community in a major way.
Tony, the show Monk that was wildly successful and popular. One of the first things that comes to my mind to ask is what goes into making a decision to stop doing a show like that?
Well, that's a very good question. We all felt, the writers and me and the cast felt that we had, that it had played out, that we'd explored these characters in this world enough, and that we wanted to go out. We wanted to go out on a high note, and while the show was still popular, and we didn't want it to kind of, as they say in TV, jump the shark, or we wanted it to. We wanted it to. We would want to go out, leaving people wanting more rather.
I'm all right, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great. Now, I'm sure a lot of people ask you questions about the significance of your role in the movie American Graffiti and the success of Laverne and Shirley, which was a spin-off of Happy Days. And do you ever feel like you're sort of trapped in the 50s?
Well, if I'm trapped, it's a wonderful place I'm trapped in.
Hello, darling. This is Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, and you're celebrating Schlocktober on Off the Cuff with Tom Sumner.
I'm Julie Turner, Jules, and I think Tom Sumner should replace Piers Morgan because I have plenty of blackmail material on him, and then there would be something to get for the blackmail, and also bacon.
The voice of actor, comedian Joe Napoli, who joins me now by phone. Hello, Joe.
Ciao, Tom. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Now, I happen to notice that you have listed a number of qualifications. Why would you want to be Pope?
First of all, there's never been a Pope named Joe.
That's true.
Okay, I think Pope Joe sounds good, no?
Well, Joseph is a biblical name for sure.
Well, Joseph,
hasn't been used.
But I like Pope Joe.
I like Pope Joe too. I'm all for Pope Joe.
And I think I'm going to be a good Pope, a fair Pope, and a clean Pope. That's why God gave me a little OCD so I can become, an overly clean deity.
Lucky day, Mr. Sumner, because my receptionist is off and I answered my own phone, which is unusual. I don't often talk to commoners, but good day to you. It's my pleasure. Why, I have a moment or two. I have to take Camilla out for her daily run in just a moment, but I'm happy to talk to you.
And we're back. My guest is the iconic show business legend, comedian, actor, producer, writer, Carl Reiner. Mr. Reiner, welcome back, and thanks for being on the show today.
My pleasure. The fact that I'm proud of being an author and writing I Remember Me makes this doubly interesting for me.
This is Michigan Steve from Nashville, Tennessee, wishing my good friend Tom Sumner all the best.